Hello, everyone. I believe we are live now. Let me see on the chat. I will open the chat here. Okay, so let's give a couple of minutes if someone else will join us. How are you, Jean, today?
I'm great. I'm great. How about you? How things going?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Working
Awesome.
a lot and running, but
Oh,
I'm
it's good.
fine.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, if we're busy, that means that we still have a job, which is good,
Yeah, that's
right?
good. We have problems, so we have jobs.
Yeah, kind of. We are problem solvers.
Yeah. So uh, I believe I will start and introduce you a little bit, and after that you can introduce yourself also. So welcome again to everyone. Welcome, John. It's a pleasure to talk with you. And we are here at Java Maple Leafs today, talk with Jean Patrick. He is a Brazilian. He's my friend. We worked together once, and now it's very good to have you here. And he is a software engineer, and he brings together a love for code, community, and sports. So welcome, my friend. Uh,
Thank you.
if you want, you can introduce yourself now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Hills, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here, to be part of your project, and congrats for it as well. Um, it's it's a great privilege to be here, being part of it. So yeah, as you said, I'm Gene. I'm a software engineering, software developer. You have many names for it. And yeah, I've been working with this since 2011, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. I know that there are some older people than I in this area, but it's a long path already. We have tons of stories to tell about this, and yeah, that's great.
Cool. And when you started your career, do
Mhm.
you already imagine that you once in the future you would be working in what you're doing right now and in Canada
Mhm.
doing something this kind of project you are doing now?
Yeah, when they started, like I didn't even thought about like getting at this far. I didn't even know that it was possible to get like this. I was like a teenager, doing sports, doing my high school, and I knew that I wanted to do two things at least in my life, right? Vet or something with the PC, something I didn't know in the past, like what I would do.
That
Yeah, vet. Yeah, I know.
cool.
I'm too into animals. I always had like dogs as a pet, so I loved animals. I still love animals, all kind of animals. So yeah, I think if I followed that path in the past, I would be happy as well. But yeah, I'm pretty happy on the choices I made in the past. So as I said, I was a teenager, and the city where I grew up, it was like a center point or with tons of um, software development companies at that time. And at that time, it wasn't that easy to find developers. And so what happened is that the companies got together and they created a program to build developers. So they kind of just paid everything. They gather a lot of people interested to it, and they gave you courses. They gave you lessons on how to start this career. And I remember that it was like tons of people that registered for that, and we had the kind of phases. One was like, how can I say that? Psychological phase where they ran tons of tests on you to see if you were eligible to keep going the thing, and they were cutting tons of people. And I remember that time that was pretty stressful because you never knew when if it would be your time or not, if you could be able to keep going on the program or not. And every phase people were cut, and then after that, we went to programming logic. I remember we used to use, what was the name? It was, I don't remember, but like it was a language, like only console, and just to learn programming logic. And then after that phase, of course, tons of people were cut again. And then you were going to then they separated people in between Visual Basic, Java, C Sharp, PHP, tons of programming languages. And I remember that I was like, oh my God, I want to go to C Sharp. I don't want to go to PHP. On that time already, I was trying to avoid Visual Basic as well. Um, oh yeah, Visual G, that was the one. Thank you, Johan. Yeah, it was Visual G, the programming language that you used to use to learn. And then I go to C Sharp. I did the course. I remember that we were learning everything. And then in the end, you had to do kind of a final paper as well to show for people. And then those company, they sent people to watch it. And then they would later on sit and pick people. And then, yeah, like I remember the time that we were waiting to, okay, which company I'm heading to, because then you got the opportunity to do an internship on those companies for 6 months. So you didn't pay for the course, you just go through over it, and then in the end you were picked, and then you had like an internship to um, try yourself, right? And
Yeah.
then I went to a company, I went to C Sharp, so I started work with the AS. ASPX, so old wage thing on C Sharp. Yeah, and then I made it. So I was 16, and then I started as a junior developer on a company over there. And since then, I didn't stop. So it was 2011, and yeah, tons of things changed from that time to now. And
Cool.
I'm kind of happy that it changed because in the past it wasn't easy. It wasn't
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is
So
the way I got into this world, you know.
yeah. Cool. So you start earlier, right?
Yeah, I was
16.
16. I was 16. So it's
Cool.
yeah, it's been almost 15 years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. I believe I started with 19 or 20. I'm trying to remember, but it it was around 2009. I believe
2009.
I got my first job.
All right.
Cause
So 2 years before me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was working with like hardware and maintenance of
Mhm.
computers. So I had a chance to
Mhm.
move to development. So I did it. Uh, that is cool. You know, my mm, Helena, my middle
Mhm.
daughter, also
Mhm.
wants to be a vet in the future.
Oh, nice, nice.
All day she asked me to buy a horse for her
A
or
horse.
or a little
Okay.
dog or something. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I would say go for a dog.
or a
So-
fish.
or a fish, even easier. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
Cool, man. Amazing story. And I, I know you love sports, and that's something you also start pretty much early
Mhm.
in your life. How do you see the relationship between sports, community, and your career? The the
Oh yes.
how you do the things.
Hmm. Yeah, to be honest, I think the sport thing defined it 100% the way I do things, the way I see things, and the way I face things, right? Because in the sport, there isn't shortcuts, there isn't excuses, there isn't anything, whether you do or you don't do. And if you don't do, you don't get there. And besides that, we have the teamwork as well, especially for me that used to do rowing in the past. So you're inside of a boat, rowing for the same direction, on the same rhythm, on the same pace, the same everything. And if you don't do that, it doesn't work. It doesn't go further, So you have to be with your team all the time, every single row, every single breath. You need to be with them, and I think it shaped the way I work with my team. Because on my subconscious, I have it in my mind that okay, if we don't do things together, we won't go anywhere. If I'm pulling from one side and the other guy is pulling for the other side, it won't work. And every time that you have even small things at work, it comes automatically to your mind, and it shapes the way you challenge things and how you deal with things. So 100%, I can say that the sport helped me a lot on this, and it kept helping me um, still nowadays.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
not only on the work side, but as you said, in the community. So when I moved here, most of my friends came from soccer. So like I was here, I was working remotely, and I didn't have contact with no one almost. And basically, almost everyone came from sport. So even if it's like just a hobby, it's kept changing my life since I was a teenager.
yeah,
So if you have the opportunity to do any kind of sport, go for it because it's going to help you. You have no idea how.
yeah. That is cool. And I'm curious now. How much sports did you uh,
Oh, I wouldn't go.
practice
I
nowadays
wouldn't
or
go in this
recently?
direction. You have no idea. So yeah, basically, as almost every Brazilian, I started with soccer because of my father, as he used to go play soccer. I don't know how many times a week, and as just a child, I used to go with him, shooting the ball on the wall, with friends.
Yeah.
So I start with soccer, but I'm going to tell you, I wasn't not even close to be good on this. I was terrible at in the beginning. I'm not telling that I'm good now, but like when I was a child, a teenager, it was terrible. Oh goodness, I was always the last one to be picked. When the guys were
Oh,
picking the
really?
team.
Man, I
Yeah.
can't believe.
And then when I was 14, I started doing rowing, which was a great choice to my life. And I really went into it. Like really, I was practicing every day, like from Monday to Saturday, and sometimes even Sundays, more than once a day sometimes. So I kind of I got in the level to be a pro on this. So I used to go to national competitions, and on the state level as well. So I used to go it like for sure for real. And with that, I started doing cycling as I didn't have like my driver license at that time, and I kind of lived far away from the place I used to have my trainings, and to go by bus was terrible because I had to take like two buses to go there or even three, and like the schedule wasn't good, so I started doing cycling. So to go training, going back with cycling. And usually people from rowing, they love cycling because I don't know if it's because of the speed or what. You can ask almost everyone that do rowing, they cycling as well. And I start doing surfing as well. So I go to the beach and do some surfing. And then at a certain point, I started to run. So I used to do it wasn't a triathlon, it was a duathlon. So you run, and you cycle. And then once I did a sprint triathlon, which was like a small one. So you swim, you run, and you cycle.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And how is
I
that?
think yeah, it was great. Like I was the last one to get out of the pool because on that time it was a pool and circle like this. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a river or a lake or something. I remember I was almost cut on the swimming, which is the first sport of the triathlon. I was almost cut, and then I left in the last minute, and then I made it. And yeah, I think that's all. I don't remember any other sport right now that I did in the past. So yeah, it's basically it: rowing, cycling, running, soccer, swimming, kind of surfing, and yeah,
That's cool.
a lot of
That
them.
is a great list, I would say.
You do all of them, but you are not good in any of them.
But that is not the point, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Besides the
Okay,
rowing, because on that time it was like, okay, I have to win this, and yeah.
cool. So we have a lot of people here. Let me see. Already show Larso, Han, Guilherme Castro. Hello, everyone. Han said, my best tech lead. Cool.
Oh
So,
yeah,
mm, and
and
now
Counter Strike as well. Thank you,
medal
Larson.
yellow, first red from Johan. Who else? Alexandra. Hi, Alexandra.
Do you know her?
Yeah, a little bit. And also Bruna Mauri. That is also from CS. Think.
Yeah, there is also Counter Strike as well. Yeah, my wife doesn't like that much, but yeah, kind of a try it.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. But and bad. Let's see. And bad at Counter Strike.
Yeah, I'm bad, but I still have to carry him. So
Cool. So, guys, for if you want to send a question for us, send here on the chat, and I believe we will have time to answer on the end. So, okay, we have a question right now.
mm.
Yuri, I work with information security, but I want to study to be a Scrum Master. Do you think there are good opportunities for it in Toronto?
So it's hard to say because I pretty much work at the same place since I arrived. So it's not fair to grab a big picture of Toronto as it a big thing. As I said, I just work in the same company. But talking about my past two experiences, I didn't really work with Scrum Masters, but Scrum Master is like an area that you have to study development process. And I still believe that nowadays we have good opportunities in this area, but you need to know that it's more like people wise and not so much like tech wise. So you're going to need to deal with more with people and processes than like code and this kind of thing. Um, and I think that it's still going to have space for these kind of people, not only in Toronto, but in the worldwide as well. So if you like it, go for it. And because, when you like something, things become easier for you, right? And if you do something with passion, people are going to see that and you're going to have opportunities anywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Is uh, we also can see that is we see less opportunities than we see for developers, for example. But because, as you said, is a different position in a development software development team,
Hmm.
but is also has less competition because it's a different area, right? So
Hmm.
if you are good with people, uh, or you like this thing, like kind of manager, I believe is a
Yeah.
good area to go.
And of course, you're going to have less opportunities as a developer, comparing developer and Scrum Master, because when you're a Scrum Master, you deal with a team that usually have like two, three, four developers, and sometimes a same Scrum Master can work with more than one team. So, like in a company, you're going to have like 20, 30, 100 developers, and you're going to have like, what, 2% of it of a Scrum Master? But as you said, then you have less competition on this area because you have less people looking for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very common to see one scrum master dealing with different teams
Hmm.
because they usually have a specific job, right?
Hmm.
So it is not only restrict in one team, one context.
Hmm.
Nice. So more questions from the chat. Let's see. Uh, Let me see. We have another hello here. Josely Shatter.
Yeah.
You know her?
Yeah, a little bit. Let's say since I was born, even before that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I can see my mother and my father in the chat. I saw my
And
father there somewhere.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. And so I believe that is your father,
Yeah, that's
Osni Shatter.
the guy
Oh,
that brought me to soccer.
cool. It's a pleasure, Osni and Rosalie. A question from Larson. How do you start to compete or participate in hackathons here in Blumenau?
Hmm. To be honest, I didn't participate on any hackathon so far. I think the idea of the hackathon is a little bit different from what I'm used to do, let's say. But of course, it's a great opportunity to test your skills and kind of under some stress. Because from what I know, usually hackathons they have like time-based tasks to get done, and you get tons of network as well because you're going to work with some people that you don't usually see or know because you're going to meet them there. And of course, if you want to improve your skills, it's going to be a great opportunity to do so. But what I used to do, and I keep doing, is to go to conferences, which is kind of a way to have some inputs on what's going on in the world and what's the idea of the future in the software development. And yeah, it's always a great input, and of course it brings you some will to try some stuff, and it's always good to your career. And of course you're going to see something that you can use on your daily basis work. And even if you don't notice it, most probably people that work with you are going to notice that there is something different with this guy, because you're going to bring some stuff, you're going to bring some posture and this kind of thing, and it's going to be great for you.
Okay, awesome. So let me see. We we can move forward, and after we can back again to the chat. Man, I have another question for you. So, um, when when did you start to think about working abroad, or if you already started thinking about Canada, when it
Hmm.
happened, why happening, and
Hmm.
tell us.
Yeah, that's, to be honest, that's an interesting point, because I remember in the past I was working in IT already, and I kind of had something on my mind, like, let's move abroad. And the past was like, oh, that's nice, I don't know many people that did it in the past, and I think it would be a great opportunity, a great experience to go abroad and live abroad, and yeah, it would be nice. And then I think it was around 2015, something like this. I don't remember much. I used to drive in that time, my girlfriend, which that nowadays is my wife, to a course that used to happen in another city. And so I took her there, and then I was waiting for her to finish the class and then to come back to our house. Um, and I was like kind of doing some researches to move abroad. And at that time was Canada, because I remember to see like, you know what? I don't see a country in Europe that I look at it and it clicked at me. And USA, not like kind of the same. It wasn't that. And then I used to look to Canada, and I was like, I like this country. It like looks good. The economy is good. They have like good. What's the word?
Benefits.
Not benefit, but like cultural, tons of people, and I was
Yeah,
like, okay, looks good. And then I started looking into it, and I
multicultural.
remember multicultural. Yes, yes, that's the word. And then I remember at that time that I didn't have my diploma. I was still doing university at that time. And I remember that the diploma was a big thing, a big deal with the immigration process. If you didn't have it, it was kind of hard for it. So I kind of, lose the idea, because I see that it wasn't going to work, and then I left it aside, and I kept going with my university, with my job, everything. And then it was 2022. Then I was reached out on the LinkedIn. A guy talked to me like, "Hey, what do you think about coming to Canada?" And I remember, because you know how it is for software developers. You kind of in that time used to have to receive like everyday messages on the LinkedIn, asking you to hire you, this kind of thing. And then I remember of reading the message and thinking, oh, it's a automatic message. I won't even reply to this. I was like, you know what? And I had on that time I had recently moved to a fintech that was kind of a dream job. I moved to New Bank, and I remember that there was like 3 months as there, so I was like, I don't want to change now. Like it was like pretty good position. I was happy with that, everything. And then I said, you know what? I won't even reply this guy. And then 1 or 2 days later, he sent another message like, "Hey, can we book a call and talk?" I was like, "All right, there is something different here." So the guy is it's really a guy. It's not like a message, like a automatic message. And I said, "Okay, let's do it. Let's go for it." Because I had something that don't say no directly. At least listen, and then if you're not interested, okay, just move on. And then I made a call with him, and remember the guy that loved me. Do you know the guy? It's Francis. And I was like, oh, all right. It was way better than expected. And then he asked me, you know what? Can you send me like he sent me like a document on their format document, fill it up for me and send to me. And then I look at this in the I thought, come on, you have my LinkedIn. I'm just going to copy paste that. Why you don't get from there? And then it was like Thursday, I guess, or something like this, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I said, okay, I'll give you, I'll send you until Sunday night. And then Sunday came, and they didn't write a single word on that document. And then I took the laptop. I remember to be watching Fantástico. It's a Brazilian program on TV. And then I start doing like just like this, like copy and paste, like this. And then I sent to him. And it was Monday before the lunchtime. He replied me like, "Oh, awesome! I love the document, but I put some comments over there. Can you fix them and send to me?" I'm like, okay, these guys really into it. Like there is something different here. So I'm going to put some time here to not waste his time because he took the time to read and to do the thing. And then like, I wrote everything as it's supposed to be, like done. And then I sent to him, and then he started asking like, okay, how much do you think it would be a good salary to you to come? We pay your expenses of the flight expenses. We do your visa. We do everything. Like, wow, all right, I wasn't expecting that. And I was kind of my dream position in Nubank. Like I love the company, like the company image, everything in the company. I used to love it. I was like, I'm going to quit this job that I dreamed so much to get into this. Like the paycheck was great, all the benefits, everything. And I remember that we just moved to our own apartment, so we kind of waited for 2 years and a half. We picked every single piece of furniture to put there, and now that we're just living there for 3 months, we're going to move abroad. Like, oh, and yeah, it was a pretty hard decision, but I'm glad I made it, and we made it because my wife came with me, and it
Yeah.
was not a single decision; it was a couple decision, pretty hard one to be honest, and yeah, it was the my path to go here, to come here, and
Cool.
here am I.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Very stressful moment, but also excited moment, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Because you you had a power to say yes or no, and if
Hmm.
I say yes, yeah, I'm going to Canada. That is that is cool. Um, Let me see. We have more a couple of minutes, more, yeah, 25 minutes around that. So let's move forward. We I would like to talk about a little bit um, AI and code assistance and what you are using in your personal projects or
Hmm.
your professional project. How do you see that uh, that is transforming, is changing our our work on daily basis, and uh, also think about the future, how that could change our future as problem solvers. Open your
Yeah,
heart.
yeah, that's a big one. That's a big subject. On the IT, especially in the software development, we are kind of used with changes. Since I work with that, I can see a couple of big changes that we faced so far. But for sure, this one is the biggest one, at least from what I saw on my career. It's going to change things. It changed it a lot already. And to be honest, I don't think that from now on our daily basis work are going to be something close to what we used to do. And for sure, there are a lot of afraid around this, expectations that, to be honest, I don't think we are going to get in there, at least soon. Um, and as I said, it's our reality right now. And if you don't use it, you're going to be left behind. So we have tons of tools that we can use already. The most famous one is ChatGPT, but it's just like a piece of what we have already. So nowadays you have Codex, you have ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, Hugging Face, I think it is, Seek. Those are all LLMs that do kind of jobs on their end. And bringing it to software development, we already have the chats, the agents inside of the IDE, right? So you ask it to do some stuff, and they basically change your code. They read your code, they understand your code, use it as a context, and it write following your standards and what you asked it for. But you can see as well that sometimes it kind of hallucinate. It's go over. Like you ask something, and it started like iterate it over and over again, and it got lost many times. So that's the point where I meant when I said that maybe it's not going to reach that point that we are thinking of. You know, what else? Um, this is talking about how we code, right? But at the same time, you have the agents that you plug into your applications. That's a kind of a different word as well. So you have like the code-based thing and like the application-based thing. And we can see in the past, like 1 year, 2 years maybe, the C fellas rushing to put AI powered on their software, no matter what. It's just like, how can I say, a good morning and grabbing the name of the guy or whatever, just to have something to put because it was like a sale argument. So that's kind of brought a bubble to the AI. And the AI companies that used to develop AI, they wanted to bring people to use it, right? So they basically invested letting you use it for free. So you get used to it and you're kind of not able to live without it anymore. How many of us are not able to live a single day without asking a single question to ChatGPT, right? So the point I think it's going to get is they're going to start charging you, or they are going to start reducing the amount of tokens you can use per day, because then you're going to reach a point where you're going to feel in the lack of it, and you're going to pay to use that, right? Um,
Yeah,
so that's the point I said that they invested. So they let you use for free, and now they're going to start charging you. So the point is, talking about code development. Um, So now it's easy to use because you just kind of just trigger out tons of questions, ask a ton of things, and start coming. But then you're going to reach this point where you're going to get your limit, your boundaries you're going to reach, and you're not going to be able to use it anymore. And they're going to start charging companies to use that. And if you are not able to live without that anymore, how are you going to do? If you don't know how to write a single method anymore without ChatGPT, right? So I
yeah,
think
that's
that's the
dangerous.
point.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, I think that's the point that we are heading to, and you are going to do some step backwards soon because it's going to be expensive. There are some tools. One example is Cursor, which is a agentic IDE. So you basically have the AI built in the IDE. That's incredible what it can do. Like I'm using it to side projects, and like the pace it brought to development is amazing. Like things that I don't even know how I would do that, I made in 1 hour. You
Yeah,
know, but we still
cursor,
have
it's
to,
amazing.
yeah, cursor, and I'm paying that because I start using, and then I reach the limit, and I said, that's good. It's worth it to pay 20 something dollars to use it monthly, and I'm
Yeah,
using it. And the pace it's bringing, to be honest, let's say the past 2 or 3 months that I started using it, the amount of code I delivered is like mostly probably something that I would take at least half an of a year to do, and I'm not pretty sure that I would be able to get in that amount of code. So it brings value, not only for us but for our customer as well, because it's kind of avoided me to face a lot of problems with the customer, because I was able to finish some features that I kind of promised him and I wasn't able to do, and with that I was able to get in there.
yeah,
Um,
that is amazing. It's bringing value for you for your business. So it's good to pay for it
mhm.
because you can get in return, right?
Yeah, and like my customer don't even know that I'm using that, and he's using the values of it.
Yeah,
With the speed, with everything. Like sometimes I faced some errors. I was kind of in a rush. I wasn't able to like to read the error, understand. So I just copy and paste the stack on the AI agent, and they said, "Oh, that's it," and fix it.
yeah,
But the other way around is true as well. I already had situations where I had an error. I asked the AI, hallucinated, like changed like half of the code base and didn't fix the issue. And with my experience in this on that specific application, I knew what was. So I kind of oh, it's not even close to that. So I kind of okay, go back, undo everything, and I went straight to the issue, and
yeah. Kind of
it's
problem that you human has to fix, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that is. I had a experience this week,
mhm,
and that led me thinking about my past projects, when
mhm,
we send code to the pipeline and run something like Sonar, for example, or Veracode, and
mhm,
bring a lot of vulnerabilities, code style out of the standard,
mhm,
and uh, our job used to be uh, 100% manual in this case. You see a line, you see what the the tool is telling that you have to do, and you go in the
mhm,
code and change it. And this week I did that using Cloud Code, but only okay, read this XML and fix the code for me to 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 solve those issues. Man, 5 minutes I did for 3 projects and it's done. That
yeah.
is, it's amazing performance for those cases. When it is a very uh, manually hard work to do. It's see something and do something, because the file we receive for those tools is very practical. It's very clear what we have to do. So
Mhm.
the AI will not have problem to fix those issues for us.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I drink my coffee and see the cloud code
Just
work.
watching
Yeah,
the
just watch.
famous code vibing, vibing code.
Yeah, vibing code.
Yeah, that's interesting that you brought the pipeline to the discussion, because you most probably already heard about GitHub Copilot.
Yeah, Yeah, I did.
So you have some features over there. One of them, they do the code review for you. So you have a Copilot agent on your GitHub, and they read your PR, and it brings you some comments on what to improve on your code. And if you want to, you just click a button and they commit you that change they suggested to you, because they basically say, oh, you see this? This is bad because of this and that. The best way would be like this, and then show the code for you, and then you have a button. Do you want to commit that? And if you
Yeah,
want to, just click that and it's committing your PR. And furthermore, you have a Copilot agent on GitHub, and basically you configure your repository on it, and you just like create a prompt as a task, and you ask it to do it. So as it is async processing, you can put like 2, 3, 4 tasks for it and start doing. And then when it's finished, it open up PR for you and just review it and approve it or not.
yeah, man. What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. I I was in TTC São Paulo in September, and we it was like a mind blow. Some talks I attended,
Hmm.
and I start to think it uh, uh how how I will help my child, my kids, to not use AI right now, to not lose this thing we had in the past, like creativity, um, critical sense, uh, draw, create stories.
Hmm.
Because if I gave a cell phone for her right now, she's able to do everything, or better, to ask everything to AI, and uh, do nothing by herself, right? Like a history, create a storytelling, a storybook for me about that and that, and it's done. That
Yeah.
is that is hard, because we have to incentivize the kids to step back for that, and keep doing manually things manually for a while, right?
Yeah, you are completely right, and it's a big challenge right now with that. Some weeks ago, I went to the Microsoft AI tour in Toronto, and there was a talk regarding to this. They had some school principals there. They were discussing about this, how to use AI in the school, but avoiding to overuse it, because there are some studies already that they took some people to us to write an essay. One of them was like, okay, you cannot look anywhere, just using what you have in your mind. That was one group. Another group was, okay, you can Google. And the third group, you could use ChatGPT. And they were like measuring the brain activity. And the ChatGPT group finished their essay like in minutes, right? And the brain activity on that group was like minimum, almost nothing. And then the Google one, they had like a good brain activity, but still less than the other group. But those two were pretty similar. But the one using ChatGPT was like almost nothing. And the problem is we kind of lose the skill of thinking, because you don't think anymore. You just ask for it. You stop reading. You stop everything. So it's a pretty dangerous. The technology is there to be used, but everything has its limit,
Yeah,
because okay, let's say that we stop writing articles. from where the AI are going to have like content. So if you stop trying stuff, stop like doing researches, we are going to stop in the time, you
Yeah,
know, and it's pretty dangerous, pretty dangerous.
yeah,
So yeah, it's good that you have it in your mind, and I think it's a good posture to trying to avoid them to use that, because the brain is a muscle. If you don't practice it, it's going to reduce its size. You're going to lose this capacity of doing what is supposed to do. So you have to keep your brain exercised, and yeah, be aware of it, because it's the problems are going to show up in the future, not right now. So you have to be aware of things that can impact your future and impact your capacity to even adjust to new things that are going to come,
yeah, that is true. Very good. So let's see on the chat if you have more hellos or questions. I also have a question we received from the forum
Mhm.
that I posted on LinkedIn this week. Okay, we have hellos. Hello from your mom, your daddy, Daniela Medeiros also. Man, you bring very cool people here. Vinicius Ferreira, hello there.
Oh, he was my student.
Oh, really?
If it's the Vinicius I'm thinking of, yeah, because in the past I gave some lessons on development. I got a class, and he was one
Cool.
of the students. Yeah, good to see you, man. Thank you for
Uh,
coming.
Also, Thiago Silva, what's up, guys? And more Thiago Silva, great content. Shout out to Jean, great person and amazing professional. Cool, very good. Um, let's go for my final question, I believe. Uh, and after that, we can close with some thoughts. Um, this question we received it from, let me confirm,
Hmm.
from Bharat. He he filled our form, and the question
Nice.
is this one. Let me put here. Let me see if the name is right. Yeah, it's right. So let's show the question. Okay. So how can someone start his journey to be a speaker alongside managing his 9 to 5 work? What do you think, man?
Hmm.
That is a good one, right?
That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, because you know what? Um, I've worked on some companies already, and every company has his own way of doing things, his own culture, um, and some they kind of facilitate these kind of things, and other not that much. So to be honest, I don't think you should lie on your 9 to 5 job if you want to be a speaker. You can use it there, but you're going to need to put some extra effort outside of your work hours to do so. And to begin with, you need to like what you are going to talk about, because you're going to need to do some researches, you're going to need to do some tests, and of course you're going to need to read a lot. So you need to like it, otherwise you're going to lose your joy on it pretty quickly. So I would say get some time outside. Let's say 1 hour, 1.5. You don't need to start with that. You can start even less than that. You can start reading an article during your lunch break, for example, just to start getting the pace. And you're going to see that it's going to um, become easy to increase that time. You're not even notice when you get to 1 hour, 1.5 hours, because you're going to start something you have some joy, you know. And you need to have joy on sharing things, because as I said, you're going to put some effort on it, and it's not going to be easy. And of course, this is something that I have on me, because in the past I used to write some articles. Right now I kind of stop it because other priorities. But at least for me, it's hard to get a point where you look at it and you think, okay, that's good enough. I won't have like I will be able to answer any question people might do, and it's pretty hard to get on this point. But you don't need to know everything. That's important. You don't need to know everything. The important thing is to say, I can answer you this, or I don't know how to answer this right now, but let's talk. Let's share contacts, and let's discuss tomorrow or something. And then you go after it and you read it and you understand, and then you can discuss with that people, with that person, the question they made you, and that are going to make you um, improve your skill. And that's some another important thing. When you start doing this kind of thing, you don't imagine how much you improve, because when you need to explain to someone something, you really need to know that thing, and you don't need to read it as anymore, because you get in your brain and you don't forget it anymore. So it's awesome. So my advice is, um, get some extra time to invest on it, and you're going to get in there. But don't rely on your 9 to 5 job, because most probably you won't have like the right ground to go over and get on the point you are expecting. Again, I'm not telling about all the companies. As I said, there are companies and companies. So you might be on a company that you have space for that, and that's great. It's not every company that allows you to have this kind of opportunity. But yeah, for sure, you're going to need to put some extra effort to get in there. But it's worth
Yeah,
it. It's worth it.
yeah, great. I also would add something that sometimes that is possible you get these benefits in the moment of the negotiation with a new company, a new job position in the same company or changing company. That's something you can uh, negotiate and ask. I want to go in events. I want to do talks, and depend of the company, you can get that.
Yeah.
Um,
And to be
well,
honest, I don't think you like need a negotiation, because it's good for the company if you go to be a speaker on an event, because you are bringing the company's name. So
yeah,
it's something good for the company. But
but you
to
know,
reach
have
that point,
some
hmm,
companies didn't want that. I
oh, really?
know. Yeah, that is true. I know people that is not they cannot use the name of the company on their talks. They cannot mention anything about it. And I also know people that yeah, is the company open. They can go in every event they
Hmm.
they want, like one event by month. He can go and have everything paid for, at least the days. And yeah, We had different kind of companies.
Yeah, you see totally different realities from one to another. So yeah, which is crazy because it's a kind of a marketing for the company. And if you go on this kind of
Yeah,
event, you can even bring developers for your company, because when we see someone talking passionate about his company, we're going to bring more people, because some people are going to look at it and think, I want that for me too. I want that
yeah,
passion on my daily basis for me too.
yeah,
And well,
yeah.
it's,
Sometimes it's hard to understand.
yeah, yeah.
And I also a little bit more. It's nice to find a thing that you want to talk about it, as Jean mentioned it, like in a specific problem or in a specific tool, uh, because it's a path that you can uh, keep going and not change a lot. Like today, I want to do a talk about React Native, and tomorrow I will do a talk about I don't know, Kubernetes and multi-cloud. If you keep like a same way or very more restricted way, is easy to keep going, keep growing with that. I think.
Yeah, and a piece of advice, if you want to be a speaker or even an article writer, I'm telling you because it was something on my mind at that time. I was like, is it enough? Is it deep enough? Or is it too superficial? Don't be afraid with that, because out there, you're going to have all the levels you can imagine. So if for you it's too superficial, for someone it's going to be deep enough. So start it. Just start it.
Right.
You don't
Yeah.
need to be perfect. Just start it.
And sometimes you it's not necessary you to bring all the information and and magic thing. You have to get a highlights, something that the people can think about it, and that that most of the time is enough.
Mhm. Yep.
Perfect. So I believe we are finishing our questions. Yeah, no more questions. Natasha, comment something. Yeah, I loved your comment regarding the fact that if we use only AI for research, how the software will have enough database to provide more contents. Never thought about that. And hello for Helen and Johan. Cool.
Awesome.
Man, I believe is that we are ready to close. We had very good questions from the chat, from people on the forum, and other questions. And we had a very good conversation. I really appreciate your time, man. It's very good to talk with you. And uh, I believe you can do that again. So let's keep talking.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for having me. As I said, it's a really pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for everyone that watched us, that was here with us. Thank you for every comment, every question. Yeah, it was really great. I really enjoyed to participate on this. And yeah, if I have opportunity again to talk with you, it's going to be a pleasure again for sure.
Perfect. Amazing. So thank you, everyone that joined us. And I am happy that today we had a lot of questions. That is really good. And keep our guests busy. That is a good thing. Thank you, man. Really good to see you. And have a good night, everyone.
Yes.